Donald Trump has ties with one of the biggest terrorist organizations in the United States, and it's not Antifa. There's a reason that Trump is willfully ignoring the fact that Antifa had no involvement in any of the violence in these protests. And actually, members of Antifa and the protesters were protecting the businesses from being looted and destroyed. Donald Trump is covering up for his alt-right buddies like Steve Bannon, his former White House advisor and campaign manager. Bannon was also the former chairman of Breitbart, which is known to sympathize with white supremacists, who believe that white people are the superior race and believe that we should shut down all immigration except from European countries because they believe ideologies like the bell curve. He constantly questioned Obama's citizenship even after the birth certificate surfaced, pushing forward their idea of birtherism, not to mention the numerous racist things he said about undocumented immigrants, black people in America, and the sexist things he said about women. It's not surprising he's trying to cover up for his buddies by declaring anti-fascism a terrorist organization. Donald Trump speaks for the alt-right.
The disconnect from reality you must exist in order to believe this nonsense is astonishing, even after all these years. Hillary's emails amounted to nothing other than a MacGuffin that helped Trump get elected because the FBI screwed her over, rather than telling us Trump was under investigation for potential treason involving Flynn, and Flynn's son, if he believed in Pizzagate, is an idiot. That place didn't even have a basement. But if you can prove all of this child molestation is going on and Democrats are involved, great, put them in prison. But investigate Trump for the obvious crimes you're already allowing him to get away with. Emails meant nothing. Pizzagate is another nonsense conspiracy theory, like birtherism. And you wonder why you're getting left behind.
When did wanting to hold police accountable for their actions become anti-cop? It's not anti-cop to suggest that police officers shouldn't shoot people in the back as they run away. I would say the same for anyone under these circumstances, civilian, military, or police. If you shoot someone in the back just because they stole your taser, you messed up. This man was not a child murderer. He was not a known terrorist. What threat did he pose to the community? He had a taser. Tell me this. If using a taser on somebody warrants lethal force, then how come we suggest that officers use it as a first line of defense against civilians? Because it's not lethal. That, combined with the fact that the officers were wearing Kevlar, making it highly unlikely they were to get tased anyway, proves that they never even thought their life was in danger. You don't get to shoot someone just to make your job easier. You don't get to shoot someone just to end a chase, especially a foot pursuit. You don't get to shoot someone because he pissed you off. You don't get to shoot someone because he beat you in a bout of fisticuffs. That's one of my favorite words. You don't get to shoot anyone just because they don't comply. This whole comply or die mentality has got to go. These beliefs don't make me anti-cop. They make me pro-good cop.
Everybody back! His skull's busted open. He's freaking out. He's fucking mad. You're okay, man. I know. Let it happen.
You don't know anything, but you are desperate. You are grasping at straws to find any justification. Trump put them in camps. There must be a good reason. They must be criminals. They must have been caught raping a white woman in El Paso. I'm really sorry to say, my dude, this is just the U.S. violating international law for no good reason. And if you actually believe in innocent until proven guilty, you would have those people let go so they can declare asylum at police stations and follow the legal process that the United States of America not only promised to uphold, but helped draft as a part of the UN Council. That we are now ignoring for no good reason. Illegal immigration is down. They do no harm to our economy. They do less crime than the average person in this country. They contribute economically to this country. There is absolutely no justification legally, civically, morally for these people being kept out. But there is an excellent justification if you're a racist, and it's that you don't want brown people in the country.
So RHH put out a video of like all of their friends in RHH being in the White House in 2040, I get, which is fine. I don't really have a problem with that. You know, I once thought Santa was real too. Anyways, just a quick clarification, okay? There is no such thing as the Secretary of Justice. You might be thinking of the Attorney General, who runs the Department of Justice. Another fun government lesson complete.
And if you don't believe my last video, check this out.
You've probably been hearing a lot about Antifa lately. It's a far-left radical movement President Trump blamed for some of the violence and destruction during the Black Lives Matter protests. Well, on Sunday and Monday, this Twitter account posted a call for violent action, specifically targeting white neighborhoods. But it turns out a white nationalist group was actually behind it. A Twitter spokesperson said Identity Europa, a neo-Nazi group, created the account and pretended to be part of Antifa to incite violence at the protests.
Friend on the call box and have them come down.
They don't have to do that. You could just walk away.
I'm gonna call the police right now.
Oh, yes. Call the police.
Yeah, there's a trespasser in my building.
Oh.
I agree with him, Daddy. What's the better?
At Washington.
Let's go. Please, I don't like this. I don't like
He's
this.
standing in the lobby.
Daddy, I don't like this. Let's go.
He tailgated.
Guy in Atlanta was shot in the back while running away from police. That sucks. He stole a cop's taser. And we all know that tasers kill people, so they had to act accordingly. Saw a comment that said, for all we know, he would have driven away and ran into somebody and killed them, then everybody would blame the cops. So rightfully so, they just executed him in the middle of the road to prevent that. Listen, nobody's saying being a cop is easy. Nobody's defending the actions of criminals. We're just saying that non-lethal crimes do not warrant lethal force. This dude was drunk, man. Clearly not in his right mind. If I was to give you this exact scenario without telling you the jobs or the race of anybody involved, not a single one of you would side with the police officer. If I said two dudes were scuffling in the Wendy's parking lot, one guy stole a taser out of the other guy's hand and ran away, so the guy who got his taser stolen shot him in the back, you'd be like, wow, he deserves to go to jail. But the second I go, yeah, he was a cop, you're like, whoa, what's the rest of the story here, bucko? And that's your problem. You had his car, you had his plate, you knew who he was, you know where he lives. Go get him.
I was this close to falling asleep, so let's do some fuzzy math. What are the chances that 3 black men aged 18 to 45 hanging themselves from a tree to commit suicide? Well, I could hack it and give you the probability of someone dying, which is 1 in 22,000. I can multiply that by the actual chance that someone commits suicide by hanging, which is 0.001%. And when you multiply those numbers together, that means no effing way. So you can imagine my surprise when I get that notification on my phone. A quick disclaimer, the Daily News is a left-center publication in New York City, but it's still news. Currently, authorities haven't released the name or the race of the person that was publicly hanged, but P. Diddy's news website, The Revolt, is claiming that the victim is black. So here's what really irks me about this suicide. It's the location. I remember 2 years ago, at the exact same spot in upstate New York, residents were complaining about this flyer in their neighborhood. It's the same park, guys.
Found hanging from a tree, found hanging from a tree, found hanging from a tree, and found hanging from a tree. These two was about 50 miles apart from each other. All 4 was in the year 2020. And you just want me to just assume they're all suicides? Help me and make it make sense to me, because it don't make sense.
If I could turn the hourglass over, if I could set the clock back, it wouldn't change a thing. I know that. I know that.
License or registration? Oh. Give me your license or registration.
Go get it, they go like that.
Or you can go to jail for resisting.
For what? When I resist? I'm asking you for a lawful command. I'm doing a traffic stop on your car.
Hold on. You did not do a traffic stop.
Because you pulled into this car backed up.
Because this is his residence.
Because you ran.
Okay, stop.
He ran. You just said he pulled in.
No, exactly, Jordan. Tell me
You
again.
just said he pulled in. How did he run if he pulled in?
Exactly.
No.
You just said he ran.
You never put your life.
Give me your license registration.
Sir, you're not.
Just got disowned by my parents. Mental health check.
I will get my child. I can't close my door. This is my house.
I don't give a shit. I'm just saying.
74% of Americans are now saying the country's on the wrong track. This number keeps growing month by month. Trump has failed us. Period.
Shove that your ass, you little bitch.
Sir, I just got punched in the back of the head.
You better get going back there. Take care of that. We can take a receipt from you.
Okay, where am I allowed to demonstrate?
Cincinnati.
Hey God, it's Satan. Yeah. Okay, I'm sorry. I know you're, but hear me out. I just have a quick bone to pick with you. Okay. So I was on Earth the other day, which, by the way, I love what you've done with the place. Yeah. This is like Old Testament you. I'm obsessed. Okay. Well, hold on a second, please. Guys, I'm on the phone with God. Keep it down. Oh, sorry, the screaming. Okay, anyway, as I was saying, I was just noticing on my little stroll, some of your followers are racist. Yeah, and that's like my thing. We talked about this. Like that, how are they worshiping you and then they're, like, can they pick a side?